Claremont Classic Garage. It's a beautiful Sunday morning in August. We got a hot tip on Facebook Marketplace and we're heading down to Scarborough, Ontario. We got the Ram 2500 with our old school car dolly on the back. What in the world are we up to now? These imbeciles wonder why they get killed. See, I can't pass them because I'm going up over a hill. That car was coming and I couldn't see him. And they wonder why everybody hates them. So here we are, we made it back home and look what we got. A 2013 Dodge Grand Caravan. We're gonna part this one out because remember the transmission problems we had with our 2016 Grand Caravan? Well, it's still not quite right. And I would like to put another transmission in it or fix the one that's in it or something. And then this one popped up. It's a good driving van. Something went wrong with the engine. We'll get into that all in a second. For now, we got to get this thing off the dolly and see what the heck we even bought. Apparently this thing needs a head gasket or a pair of head gaskets or something. She's hard to start, but it does start. There it goes. Okay. Got a power seat like mine. Transmission works great in it. Crunch. So anyway, it is what it is. It needs a head gasket or two. What are you going to do? That's not really my concern right now. I was mainly interested in the transmission and other parts and stuff that we can get off of this. You see, I can go to the junkyard and pull out a transmission. But number one, I literally have to rebuild it before I put it in my van because I have no idea if it works or not. If I maybe find a van that was, you know, catastrophically rear-ended or something, so you can say to yourself, well, it was obviously on the road when this happened, so chances are the transmission's okay. It's still a crapshoot. At least this, I started it up. As soon as I put it in reverse, wow, this transmission is really good. Put it in drive. I drove it around a little bit. It was in a parking lot where we got it, so I could run it around a little bit in there, and it seemed to shift fine. It all works. There's no lights. Doesn't seem to be any trouble at all. I will double check with my scanner, make sure there's no codes in there, but I don't think it's too bad. So what else we were interested in? You can see here, our van. I saw this when I saw the listing on Marketplace. We're going to need a set of winter tires for our van. So I've been looking for a set of these wheels. These are the 17-inch wheels. And when you see a van with these wheels, I'm pretty sure that's part of the package that comes with the heavy-duty brakes. You see here, this one's got the big dual piston calipers, and when you get those brakes, you have to have 17-inch wheels because the other wheels won't fit over them. So this is all the same brakes and everything that are on our RT van. We'll be able to use these wheels. I checked them. I've got all 4 wheels, all 4 centers. The tires aren't even that bad. They're all seasons, but you know, maybe good candidates for rehoming or something. The body on this van is not all that bad. There's a little rust on the rear wheel lips there, but doors and fenders and stuff all seem to be okay. Although, if you come here and pan, I didn't realize looking at the ad, if you look right across here, you'll see the two vans are actually different colors. Our van, the 2016, is bright white, and this one is stone white. You can see here, this is a decently optioned van. It's got power heated mirrors. It's got the power windows in the sliding doors, which they don't all have. They're not power sliding doors, but they do have power windows. And it's got the power vents at the back. It's also a factory DVD van, and it was originally equipped with Garmin navigation, although I've yet to figure out if it's still present. I have to fool around with the radio. I'll let you know about that when I know more. Anyway, let's have a look at the rest of the inside of this thing. The previous owner was a numbered company. You can see by looking around inside here, it's been a contractor's van, I think. All the seats seem to still be in it. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. So in the back here, we've got here's the video screen. I even found the headphones for it. The foam is a little bit messed up on it, but they're there. There's the remote control. So somewhere along the line, the Garmin navigation radio that this thing was born with has, I guess, had some kind of failure or whatever. And it's been replaced with a junkyard one that doesn't have Garmin navigation. But I guess it's better than nothing. But we have to look around in here and see if we can find the security code for it. Sometimes if you get them from the junkyard, it's on a piece of tape stuck on the radio. Sometimes it's in here. Who knows? Because once you unplug it from the van, if you don't have the code, that's it. It's done. So that's not too bad, I guess, for what we paid for it. It's got just 200,000 kilometers on it, which if you're keeping score in imperial units, it's somewhere between 120 and 130,000 miles. Man, glad we got home when we did. This is looking kind of ugly. I think we're going to get wet. Yeah, that's a good soaking. Just what my grass needed. It only grows about 1 inch every day as it is. First thing we're going to do is get the old Claremont power washer going and get the whole engine compartment all cleaned up, so when we start working in here, it looks a little nicer and we won't get in such a mess. Wow, that looks a lot better, doesn't it? And while I was at it, I gave the outside of it a bath. And that looks a lot better too. It's sad that it's going to get parted out. This is like it's 11 years old. I mean, it's had its day, but what are you going to do? I need a transmission, and you can't save them all. Come on, focus. There we go. Old camera. Okay, now we're going to get the inside of it cleaned up a bit, because it's gross. I need Deb to help me take the inside out of it, and she refuses to go in it. Yeah, it's that bad. This van spent the first 8 years or so of its life on a farm, and judging by the look of stuff in here, it was an onion farm. So we're going to see if we can get this stuff vacuumed up, or you know, mostly vacuumed up. We'll see what we can do. It ain't perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. Oh boy, here we go again, but I think it's going to stay to the north this time. You can see here the transmission fluid looks pretty decent. Doesn't smell too bad. So I'm going to go ahead now and we're going to hook up the scanner to it. Make sure there's no transmission related codes. And maybe get the alpha OBD out and see if we could do a clutch test on it. But I kind of think the transmission has to be at operating temperature to do that. And I don't think with the condition that this engine is in, we'll be able to accomplish that. I'm not sure. But all we can do is try. Wow, look at that. We've got 17 codes. So we're going to go here. P0345. Okay, let's go through them. Generic stored. So that means it's something that's happened somewhere along the line. It may have only happened for a split second, but it hasn't gone through enough drive cycles for the computer to clear it. Or it could be a code that's permanent, because like it's constantly occurring. P06DD. Oil pressure control circuit stuck off. So that could be as simple as an oil pressure switch. P0456. There's a classic small evap system leak. evap. Okay, next. P0740. Now there's one that we need to think about. That's torque converter control out of range. P1524. Oil pressure gain. Camshaft advanced retard disabled. P06DD. That's that same one. 0740. Same one. P0365. Cam sensor. P0394. Cam sensor. Okay, that I kind of wonder, this thing has had some kind of an oil, we've got so far now 2 oil pressure codes and these cam sensor codes. That is probably because the cam phasers that advance and retard the camshafts operate on oil pressure. So if it is commanded for the cam to advance or retard and it doesn't, it's probably going to log these codes. So I kind of think this thing has some kind of a oil pressure issue. P0117. You can see there, coolant temp circuit low. That could be a thermostat stuck up. That could be a million things. P0197. Oil temp circuit low. That's 340 again. 339. Crank sensor. Oil pressure again. Cam sensor. Oh, I don't have that one yet. Circuit 2. P0390. Cam sensor. 520. Oil pressure circuit. Wow, we got a lot to do with oil pressure, don't we? There's evap again. P0345. That's something to do with the fuel system. Okay, so now we're going to go down here to Dodge Enhanced and see what we find out here. Same thing. We got 16 codes over here. Cam. We're just gonna toggle through these. 1524 oil pressure. Manual shift overheat. Ooh. P1797. That's an interesting one. 740. Torque converter. Camshaft position, crankshaft position, oil pressure, evap, cam sensor, ETC, what in the world is that? We better write that one down. P061C. ETC level 2 RPM performance. U0416, that's a good one. Implausible data received from ESP. What in the world? Okay, we'll mark that one down. Coolant temperature sensor circuit low. Oil temperature circuit low. Camshaft. Oil pressure out of range. Camshaft advanced retard disabled. Okay. Alpha's just doing a software update, and then we'll go from there when it's done. So I should have been filming when I did this, but in Alpha OBD, I was able to, it looks like I was able to go in and clear the generic stored faults. So we're going to start the thing up now and see if any of them come back. Look at the exhaust. That's coolant or water, whatever you want to call it, coming out the exhaust because of the head gasket. It's got kind of an oily smell too. I don't think this engine is long for this world. Let's see here. Read all faults. See if any of them came back. No faults reported by the unit. Okay. So we're going to go back to start. We're going to see if we can connect to the transmission. Chrysler Ultra Drive 62 TE. Connect. Attempt 3. It's having a hard time connecting. It's having a hard time connecting to the transmission, see? No data, connect failed. Verifying that the key, yes. Turn key to stop. Then to run and repeat connect. Okay. Okay, so we can easily get connected to the engine, but for some reason we can't get connected to the transmission. Cylinder 5, and you can see the transmission is not under the engine. We don't see any transmission stuff under here. Oh no, we do. Look at it, it's all in here. Look, quick learn. Okay, so the transmission stuff is in the engine computer. I guess because this van does not have a separate transmission computer, it's all under the engine. So this is for the RFE transmission. Okay, here we go up here. 62 TE. First gear clutch test. Can we do a... Okay, let's see here. First gear clutch test. It doesn't give you a torque converter. Oh, it can't because... yeah, it should be able to. Can it do a torque converter lock? I think the engine would stall. Engine must be running, brake pedal must be depressed, and the brake set. Temperature must be above 80. Yeah, see, I'll never get the transmission warm enough to do this without the engine burning down is the problem. So, all I can do is go with my gut. I did drive it a little bit around here. It goes into gear nice. It goes into reverse nice. It seems to shift nice. So we're going to pull it out, service it up, throw it in our van, and see what happens. Okay, so you can see here we've still got two hanging around. Oil pressure control circuit stuck off. That's probably a bad oil pressure switch or something. And we've got this guy, torque converter control out of range. And seeing as how we never ever put it in gear, all we did was start it up and shut it off. The torque converter clutch would have never tried to apply in that situation. So what we're going to do is assume that the solenoid is bad. So for the few bucks that it costs, while we've got this transmission out, we'll put a torque converter solenoid in it. We'll service it all up, put our shift improvement kit in it, and go from there. So I guess that'll do it for this one. In the next one, we're going to get the transmission out of this thing, get it on the bench or on the floor, kind of clean it up, go through it a little bit, get our few little things done to it that we want to do to it, and it'll be ready to go in our nice van. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't expect this to be a permanent solution. Yes, I could take this transmission out, completely overhaul it, and put it in my van, but they're not that bad to change. There's a lot more room to work. Oh, here goes a death bike. There's a lot more room to work in these than when I used to pull transmissions in and out of Neons. Anyway, even they weren't that bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of spiff this one up a little bit to buy us some time, and the transmission that comes out of my van, the original transmission, we're going to do a complete front to back, top to bottom overhaul on it, and at some point we'll swap it back. That's how I want to do it. Call me crazy. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Claremont Classic Garage. I also hope you'll come back and see us again. And until then, I'm Kevin, saying so long for now.